Hi everyone, I'm about to start a new audiobook, so I thought it was time that I filmed another one of these videos. I've just filmed two others like this with books that I am recently starting, so I don't really know which one of these have gone up, whether this one will be the first one or whether you've already seen a couple of these now to know what these are. But in these videos, I basically tell you a book I'm about to start, I tell you what I know about the book, why I've picked it up, what its average rating is, what I predict I'm going to rate it, which could be totally correct or incredibly off, and then I go away and read it, and then I update you with my spoiler-free review. The new audiobook that I'm about to start is Sadie by Courtney Summers. This is being narrated by Fred Berman, Dan Bittner, Rebecca Soler and Gabra Zachman. Now, Sadie is a popular YA mystery novel, and I decided to pick up the audiobook because I'd heard good things about the audiobook. I don't know an awful lot about the book at all. That is pretty much all I knew going into buying this, actually. And since then, I've heard slightly more mixed things, because before that, I'd only heard good things about this book. And I'm wondering just how overhyped it possibly is at this point. It's got 21,002 ratings, and it's got an average of 4.23, so that's pretty high. From looking on Goodreads, I've learned a little bit more about the book, so it's told in some sort of like podcast way, I think, and that there's a radio personality. I don't know. I'm going to say right now, knowing what I'm like with reading and listening to these sorts of books, I'm going to predict that I'll end up giving this book 5 stars. That is quite a statement from me, I think. I really don't know how accurate I guess that will end up being. Time will tell, and you will find out obviously later in this video. If I didn't say earlier in this video, all of these videos, unless I say otherwise, are spoiler free, so you can watch this video without worrying about getting spoiled for the book. I will next update you either when I finish the book or if something happens that I really feel the need to sort of talk about. Hi everyone, so I finished Sadie by Courtney Summers. Have I just made that name up? As if I've mind blanked the author's name. But yeah, I finished this quite a few days ago actually. I've just not been able to film an update on how I got on, which is a terrible shame because I loved this book. Now, as you saw earlier in this video, I predicted that I would give this 5 stars. I actually gave it 4, or if I was the kind of person to give half stars, I'd probably give it 4.5. So this was so much more than what I was expecting it to be. Obviously, I mentioned the whole podcast side of things, but I didn't know that you'd get kind of Sadie's story intertwined within the podcasts. And listening to the podcasts themselves was absolutely fabulous. From the very beginning, I slid straight into those. But to begin with, I found it a little bit difficult to connect to Sadie and what was going on with the story. She's got a really bad stammer, which was painful to listen to as an audiobook. It was really well done, and I'm really glad that there was an audiobook that kind of covered this sort of thing, because it is covered within the story as to why she has this stammer, and I really liked that representation. But it was really uncomfortable to listen to, and obviously did change the sort of flow of the story, which is accurate to people who have stammers. I'm sure they have this struggle in their everyday lives, so it's not that I'm kind of saying, oh, it shouldn't have been there. I totally love that it was there, but it did also impact my flow of the experience of the story. All the same, I flew through this audiobook. I got through it in like a day, maybe 2 days at most. Basically a couple of sittings. I was just there like wham. I needed to get through it and find out what was going to happen. It was fabulous. What else can I say about it? So future me here sort of realised that I didn't actually say much about the characters or about the mystery side of things, so I just wanted to quickly slot this clip in. So in terms of the mystery, I felt like the mystery side of the book was done really well. I was constantly kind of thinking, how's this all gonna go? How's this all gonna lead up to everything? What's the final outcome going to be? And I really enjoyed that aspect. Meanwhile, the characters, I wouldn't say, and this is probably part of the reason why I gave this 4 rather than 5 stars as well, I wouldn't say that I developed any sort of major attachment except to maybe Sadie a little bit towards the end. I started kind of really admiring her strength, and yeah, I think I did admire Sadie a little bit towards the end, but I didn't really get all that attached to her. No one else stands out at all, and that's quite a sad thing to say, I think, but I just realised I needed to address it. If you're not into YA thrillers, this still might be one to check out, although I would go down the audiobook route rather than the normal physical book route, because I feel like reading this book, you're not going to be impacted by the kind of cleverness of doing the podcasts if you don't listen to it. Reading it is not going to be the same sort of experience. I think this is one you do need to listen to on audiobook. The podcast element was amazing. It felt real. I felt like I was listening to real podcasts. On several occasions I had to like go, am I listening to an audiobook or something real right now? It just felt so legitimate. I found the story really dark. I think this is one that you have to be careful going into this and look carefully into the trigger warnings for this book, because I'm wary of saying them right now because some of them are a bit spoilery, but it is a difficult read at times, or listen, and it's just really dark and at times difficult to listen to. The ending was incredibly difficult. It's not immediately obvious of the outcome, but at the same time it kind of is, which makes it really pertinent to kind of current times and the safety of people in the world. That's all I really want to say. I don't want to get spoilery, but yeah, I just enjoyed this book so much. I think it lived up to the hype, but I'm hoping that the hype more came about because of the style of the book and the whole formatting of the podcasts than of the actual storyline alone. The story was strong, the way that it was put together was stronger, and just made it such a wonderful listen. It's definitely one that I'm glad I picked up, and I can't remember whether I said yet or not, but I gave it 4 stars, so not a bad prediction. And if you've had your eye on this one, just go in with kind of normal expectations. Don't let the potential, oh my god, everyone's been loving this, impact you, because you may end up a little bit disappointed unless you're really into the whole kind of, oh my god, this is told with podcasts, and you get the like all these other perspectives. Like honestly, the podcasts bit, I can't emphasize how many times am I going to say this, but I can't emphasize how cleverly done that was and how realistic it was. It really made for one of the best audiobooks I've probably ever listened to be honest. So thank you for watching this review, whatever kind of format we want to call it. I'm going to have a lot more of these coming up over the next few weeks, because this is how I'm going to start kind of wrapping up my reads from now on, because I'm just too busy to really kind of do anything properly right now. So everything's going to be a bit more like this. I do want to film one reading wrap up that was all the books that I read up until last week from my previous reading wrap up. It's about 8 books. And I was going to film it today, but then life happened. So we'll have to see when I get around to that. Hopefully I will get that up this week or early next week at the latest. In the meantime, there'll be lots of these videos spread in throughout the content as well. And if I have time, I'll try and do more kind of normally booktube videos too. But I hope you enjoyed this video and this new format. Let me know in the comments down below what you think either way. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe by clicking the image of me if you want to see more book reviews and other bookish content from me, and I will see you soon. Bye bye!